Hello, this is Mikko from Apocalyptica, and you're on BackstageAxxess.com, where the real show begins.
Gus Gressinger here, Backstage Access here at the Phoenix Concert Hall in lovely downtown Toronto with the one and only drummer from Apocalyptica, Mikko Sirén. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
We are here, and you guys are going to be playing a sold-out show. This tour has just been going, and it's actually pretty impressive. And you guys with 6 a.m., it's a really great bill. Tell us how it's going.
It's absolutely fantastic, and as you said, the bill is amazing, and that's just because of Nick's 6 a.m. that they had this idea that they want to create an event, they want to create an amazing evening where fans are spoiled almost, like giving. On this show, we don't have Vamps with us, which is this band from Japan who has toured for the rest of the tour. But it's great night, and 6 a.m. it's their first tour. It's a big thing for them, big thing for their fans, and we are privileged to be part of it.
Shadowmaker just came out a couple of days ago. Obviously, we reviewed it a couple months ago. It's a fantastic record. Congratulations on it.
Thank you very much.
You know, the feedback has been very positive from what I've been reading online. And how are you guys receiving from the fans? Has it been very good?
It's been good. Of course, there's like, as there's now a change, like that in the past we have had always guest vocalists to do the vocal parts.
Right, I was going to get to that.
Exactly, and now we have a singer to do it all. So our fans, they are very emotional, and they are kind of protective of what they think Apocalyptica to be and what they should be, and we respect that, and we like to keep our fan close, and we kind of keep that relationship going on. So of course some of them, whenever there is a change, it creates a question whether the whole band concept will change. And of course it's not, but and I think there it's important to understand that Apocalyptica has always been about developing. Like when we started, or I wasn't even in the band back then, but when the band started to do Metallica covers, it was just for one album, and still some people feel that that's what Apocalyptica is about. But the second album was already covers from other artists. Third album was all original music. The revised version of the album contained already vocals, and next album had drums all of a sudden in it, then more vocals, drums all the time in. And now kind of for us, this Shadowmaker album felt that we had done that route so many times where we had asked guest vocalists to join into Apocalyptica, and it has been a fantastic journey, and we have learned so much, and we have grown as musicians so much when working with such amazing people. But we felt that if we would go to the same path again, we would be repeating ourselves. It would be like kind of go easiest way and not challenging ourselves. So we need to find something to get a fire in us as well, and like to have the feeling that we go forward and it's developing. And the basic idea hasn't changed. Just like the previous two albums, there's instrumental tracks and there's vocal tracks. It's the same here. Shadowmaker is, if you check just the minutes, half of the music is almost instrumental, and half of the songs are, half of the music is vocal tracks. But now also what we wanted to have, because the change from the past, in the previous albums, whenever we work with the great artists like Adam Gontier or Corey Taylor, the song also, it doesn't relate only to Apocalyptica. It kind of like half of the attention goes somewhere else, and we selfishly wanted to grab all the attention ourselves.
And that's what I was going to say, because the new singer, is it Frankie Perez?
Frankie Perez,
right. You know, I think it's a good way to go to get a vocalist, because now you could kind of make it your own. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like, you know, Frankie's making his own mark with his own songs, instead of having 20 different vocalists and then kind of 20 different ways to look at it.
Yes, and then it kind of like defines when you listen the album through, like on a fourth vocal song, you start to realize what we were after. That it's a one sound throughout the whole album, that it's not like splintered and pieces here and there, but it's one story. And also one thing what we have kind of suffered before, even though we have had these great artists on the album, we of course haven't been able to tour with those guys. So now to have the same voice, kind of to be able to present the music as it was on the album, we can now do it in a live situation as well. And that's very big thing for us with the Shadowmaker.
And tell us how Frankie got into the band and how you guys sought him out, or how did that all come together?
We started to, after we had maybe like 5 or 6 vocal tracks already composed, just 4 of us, just like a cellist and me. Then we started to like puzzle through this idea, and we talked first at what vocalists we could have as a guests, and then we came up with the idea that no, we search just for one. We didn't want to go for like public auditions where we would have been drowned into these mass of tapes, but we kind of put a word out inside of the business to the persons we trust, persons who know our band and what we are after, and we asked them to scout what's going on the scene, who would be available, and so on. And at first we got maybe 20 tapes, and like we checked out the different vocalists from different bands, or guys who had just having an off time from their own band. It was easy to cut them down to 5. We asked them to sing I'm Not Jesus, which is originally sung by Corey Taylor. The problem being that everybody more or less tried to sound like Corey Taylor, because it's such the vocal performance on the track is...
And you can't really sound like Corey Taylor.
So, but even then we cut it down 3. We sent those 3 persons Hole in My Soul, which is a song from the new album. Nobody had sang it before, so they could really put their own
stamp on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And we said that no production to the vocal demo, no reverbs, no effects, no doubling, no nothing. And first 10 seconds, and it was obvious that this guy is something totally different. He sang it on GarageBand, like to his computer.
Yeah.
And his voice and the versatility that he has got in his voice, that was something that felt to be in perfect match with our band, as we go from like a softest tones to hardest headbanging, and he's everything like that. So that was something we really felt amazed by. We knew only his voice when we did the decision. We had no idea who he is. We kind of like checked what he has done, but we didn't know him as a person. So we Skyped him once. Then we met actually first time in Canada. We had last summer in August. We had 3 shows here. We had one Guelph, one here, and then we played Heavy Montreal. And we just decided back in Finland, okay, if that guy's a douchebag, then we will send him home. But that was kind of the only option. And straight from that, we flew to Nashville already to do pre-production for Shadowmaker. And
it all worked out.
All worked out, and he's an amazing person.
And I don't know if I'm saying this gentleman's name right. Nick Rosen. Raskulinowicz, the producer. I mean, he's a world famous producer, but unfortunately I can't pronounce his name probably. But Foo Fighters, Rush, Alice in Chains, one of the most well-known producers in the world. How did you guys get hooked up with him, and what did he bring out in you guys that maybe hasn't been brought out yet?
Shadowmaker, like when we started to do the album, we were in a lucky situation that we didn't have a record company, we didn't have a label, A&Rs, we didn't have anybody to tell us what we can do, what we should do, what we cannot do. So we were in a position, we even like refused to answer to our manager that we are now doing music, it's our world. And with 4 of us in our rehearsal room, we kind of defined in our heads what we want the album to sound like. And actually, we were listening back lots of like old Rick Rubin productions, System of a Down, some Metallica, Slipknot. We listened back to Rage Against the Machine, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and we were kind of like intrigued of the sound, which is intimate, which is like, it is big but not massive. And like what we kind of are bored with heavy music, that it's an ongoing competition, who is biggest, who has got most, blah, 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 blah. And it loses to like a personal level. You don't get close like that. And that was the point when we actually chose the mixing engineer, Greg Fidelman, who has done tons of like Rick Rubin productions. And we knew that he's the guy who can put the sound what we are after on the songs to the place where we want it to be. And then when the songs developed, then we started to think who would be the producer who could kind of define what we are after and push us further. And then we came up with Nick Raskulinowicz. He was our number 1 choice. And he brought in so much for the picture. He was like kind of like a 5th band member. It was great. We had a pre-production session in Nashville, and in his small studio, which he has over there. And it was 6 of us. Frankie was then already with us.
Okay.
And we rehearsed in one room. He was dancing in the middle of us and conducting like a maniac conductor. And we had rehearsed songs a lot when we went there, so we had a basic idea, but we were super open to every new idea that came along. And some of the songs were torn totally apart, just to check if another route would take them further, and some songs they changed completely, and that was his input. He kind of felt that we are restricting ourselves musically, that we are not using all that there is in us, our capabilities, and he was kind of the encouraging force that you can do more, and like a 3-minute simple like instrumental track turns out to be an 8-minute epic song with vocal parts in the middle, and all that kind of stuff happened, so his impact was huge.
And Cold Blood was the first single released, and you guys have a video that just came out for that. And tell us about that.
The video, it's done actually here in Toronto as well.
Okay, there you go. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, funny enough, we met this video director, Lisa Munn, when we did I Don't Care video, also done here. And we fell in love with her way to kind of see our music. We felt that she sees our music the way we hear it.
Okay.
She sees the kind of the dark romance that there is in the music. And ever since I Don't Care, we have actually used him on all the her in all the videos. Like we did the 3 videos for the previous album, and now this one for the new album. And we kind of gave her free hands. We gave her album artwork, which was done already then. We wanted to have these strong images from album cover to be presented also in a video. We wanted this black and white, the conversation which is going on in album artwork, to have over there. We wanted to have that ballerina stuff, same as what we had in album artwork references. We used a lot like Black Swan, the movie. We wanted that kind of the same suppressed and dark beauty to the video, and those were the guidelines for her. And then also what we did not want, we have done so many videos that we didn't want to have typical band playing scenes, which gave a very narrow path for her to play, but it also gives very strong image for the video.
I want to talk about the rest of the year for you guys. Apocalyptica are going to be doing some dates, and a big date is actually Rock on the Range, which I remember seeing you guys back in, I think, 2010 when you guys first played there. Besides a couple of those dates, what can the fans expect from you guys touring-wise for the rest of the year?
We are touring the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, in the States, are we doing Europe festivals?
Yeah, we are now, we have, I think, 7 more shows to go with 6 a.m.
Right.
Then we go to Europe for 2 weeks, and during that 2 weeks, we do TV shows around Europe.
Okay.
Then we come back to US and also to Canada, like we do North American headlining tour then for 5 weeks.
Right.
We go back to Europe to do some festivals, starting from Download, which is big festival in UK. And from there on we do festivals in Finland and some in Central Europe.
Okay.
Then we are planning to come back to States again to start headlining tour in Europe then in later of the fall. And from there we go to UK to do a UK tour, then we go to Russia to do a long Russian tour, and then we try to make it home by Christmas.
Try.
It's
a busy schedule. I mean,
but it's great.
We
are so proud of the album, and we are so happy to be on the road. And we had a long break when we did a tour. So
Shadowmaker is an amazing record. I'm actually, for me, I'm glad that you got one vocalist.
Cool.
So I'm hoping, that Frankie sticks around.
We too.
Okay, so that could be a possibility going forward. And check out the new album. Go to Apocalyptica's site. And I don't know. Is that apocalyptica.com?
Yeah.
All right.
Our original is
check it out on social media sites and whatnot. And check them out on the road. Rock on the Range coming up in Columbus and Europe this summer, and back here in the States and back to Europe and Russia and everywhere else. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I appreciate it. BackstageAxxess.com. Thanks for taking the time.